Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 40 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit BillHowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Plumbers, electricians, and other building maintenance workers across the California State University system are off the job tonight. KPBS reporter John Carroll says they are striking because they say the CSU is not honoring their contract.
These people are part of a team of about 90 workers that keep San Diego State University running. Another 25 perform the same work at CSU San Marcos.
We're the carpenters, electricians, painters, locksmiths, air conditioning, refrigeration mechanics. That's what we do here. We maintain the campus and secure the campus for the students and staff.
About 1,100 Teamsters across the 22 CSU campuses are on a 4-day strike for what Carlos Sanchez says is a simple reason.
Unfair labor practice, simply because they want to honor our third year of our contract. We had to strike in 2023 to get this 3-year contract, and here we are striking again so they could honor the third year.
Sanchez is on the union negotiating team. He says CSU leadership has told the union that they don't have enough guaranteed ongoing funding from the state to move forward. He says CSU instead offered a one-time 3% raise for their third year.
Their ongoing budget is over $8.3 billion, but they have $2.3 billion in reserves. And so they never told us that they can't pay us, they just choose not to. Our raises for the 1,100 skilled trades workers that we have throughout the 22 campuses is roughly only $5 million a year. That's what our raise would cost.
In a written statement, the CSU says it values its employees and remains committed to fair, competitive pay and benefits. But it also says agreements matter. The Teamsters agreed in writing to reopen bargaining if a certain level of new, ongoing funds were not received in 2025. That's exactly where we are.
They gave them a one-time loan so that they could pay the raises. And yet they said there's no money because there's no ongoing funding.
These workers will be out here striking until Friday. They tell me that if there is no movement in the contract negotiations by then, the next steps are still to be determined. At San Diego State, John Carroll, KPBS News.
Tributes have been pouring in for civil rights leader and trailblazing presidential candidate Jesse Jackson. Jackson died peacefully this morning in Chicago, according to his nonprofit. Karen Kafa reports from Washington.
Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
The Reverend Jesse Jackson, a protege of the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., who became a towering civil rights leader himself, has died at age 84.
Make no mistake about it, Jesse Jackson was unique in American history, and I hope that his legacy lives on. A new generation of Americans who might draw from that energy.
Jackson died peacefully and surrounded by his family, according to a statement from the Rainbow Push Coalition, the nonprofit social justice organization he founded. He had been hospitalized in recent months as he dealt with a degenerative brain disease, progressive supranuclear palsy. Jackson's passing mourned Tuesday by those who worked closely with him.
He never stopped. I once said to him, "You already in history. You've gotten all the honors. Why do you keep going?" He said, "I never learned how to retire."
And by those inspired by him.
He taught us to get involved, to be involved with helping the next person, being an example for the next person.
More than 2 decades before Barack Obama was elected the first black president of the United States, Jackson made White House bids in 1984 and 1988.
We must come together.
And challenged Democrats to expand and reshape the party.
He shifted the party and shifted the rules of the party to bring more people in. How many people owe their political lives to what Jesse Jackson did? He never just ran for himself.
In a statement, the NAACP called Jackson, quote, a lifelong soldier for justice. In Washington, Karen Kafa, KPBS News.
Jackson's presidential campaign brought him here to San Diego. KPBS reporter Jacob Ayer is in the newsroom with that story.
During his first presidential campaign in 1984, Jackson visited San Diego and marched across the border into Tijuana. SDSU professor of anthropology Seth Malios told KPBS Midday Edition that the seeds for the National Rainbow Coalition started with that march.
One of the most famous things that Jackson ever said actually was at this march. He stated that undocumented workers are not illegal aliens. We're talking about people who need help. It's this emphasis on compassion that is so important and is missing from a lot of the rhetoric today.
Jackson led a lifetime of campaigns in the United States and abroad. He advocated for the marginalized on issues like voting rights, job opportunities, education, and health care. Through his Rainbow Push coalition, he took calls for black pride and self-determination into corporate boardrooms, pushing executives to make America a more open and equitable society. Until Barack Obama's election in 2008, Jackson was the most successful black U.S. presidential candidate. Jackson had a rare neurological disorder. His daughter confirmed that he died at home in Chicago today, surrounded by family. Jacob Ayer, KPBS News.
I'm Ariella Scalise, and looking ahead tonight, temperatures down to the mid-50s with rain, wind, mountain snow continue, but some drier weather for the weekend before another storm could increase our rain chances next week. All the details are coming up.
Well, Monday's storm brought wind, rain, and lightning to San Diego County and flooding to some areas. Forecasters say it's not over yet. KPBS reporter Andrew Dyer has more on what's coming.
Monday's rain was the most seen in the county in more than a month. That's according to WeatherEcho.com meteorologist Alex Tardy.
Most places in San Diego received 1 to 2 inches of rain.
The storm brought flooding, wind, and in the mountains, snow, but we're not done yet. This morning, Chula Vista residents were collecting free sandbags from the city, taking advantage of the clear weather while it lasts. Round 2 starts tonight.
And those showers will probably last during the morning commute. It'll be cold enough to put another coating of snow, a couple inches of snow, like on Mount Laguna, Palomar Mountain.
He says even then, we're still not done.
And believe it or not, we have another one coming Wednesday night and Thursday morning. So that really will be round 3.
By the time the storms move on at the end of the week, they'll have dumped 2 to 3 inches of rain in the area. Tardy says that's right where we should be in February. But the rain brings risks. More rain over already saturated ground could lead to further flooding, as can storm drains clogged with runoff from Monday. The storms are all part of the same Pacific system that's dumped rain and snow throughout the state. Tardy says the storms are good news for this year's snowpack. He's tracking another storm next week that will affect Central and Northern California.
We should get some of that in Southern California. It also will be another snow producer. So these recent storms, like the one yesterday, produced 2 feet of snow in the Sierra Nevada. They're going to get another 2 to 3, maybe 4 feet of snow Wednesday and Thursday.
The National Weather Service has issued a wind advisory for San Diego's coastal and inland valleys from tonight into Wednesday morning. San Diego County's mountains are under a winter weather advisory through Thursday night, with gusts over 50 miles per hour possible and several inches of snow. Andrew Dyer, KPBS News.
We are seeing more of the aftermath of last night's storm in other parts of the county. A massive 30-foot pine tree fell near a home in Pacific Beach, damaging a parked car. Crews were out this morning breaking the tree down and removing as many pieces as they can. A neighbor who stopped by to see the damage told our media partner KGTV that she is not surprised.
It's been happening for years. You know, these trees went all the way over to Mission Boulevard, and when I was a kid, so they come down periodically.
The city says since the storm started, they've received a total of 49 calls about trees, including 16 reports of fallen trees. A wind advisory remains in effect for our coastal areas through 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. It has been almost a year since ICE agents began arresting people at their immigration court hearings, and volunteers began documenting the unprecedented actions. KPBS reporter Gustavo Solis says the advocates remain committed despite the ever-increasing fear and tension from President Trump's deportation campaign.
Every shift begins with a prayer.
God, here we are today, grateful to be servants of love and compassion, grateful to be your witness.
That's Reverend Kathleen Owens, a retired minister.
May you open our hearts so that we may stay with, side by side, those who are checking in. We have hearings, who are afraid.
She's one of dozens of volunteers observing immigration courts in San Diego. The group meets regularly outside the downtown federal courthouse. They introduce themselves to immigrants going through the process, offer prayers and resources, and document any arrests. They do not obstruct or even touch law enforcement officers. Reverend Owen says there have been some encounters she'll never forget. Like the family with a newborn child Immigration and Customs Enforcement or ICE agents arrested last year.
Saying prayers, offering a peaceful presence. When the interroom door to the interview room opened and the father pushing the stroller rushed out.
She saw a masked ICE agent walk to the elevator and hold the door open, waiting for somebody to come out.
And this young woman in handcuffs, crying, is led from that interview room across the hall and into the elevator.
It happened so quickly that Owens did not get a chance to speak with the family.
And the hardest part is we don't know her name. We don't know what happened. And it lives with me that baby's crying as dad was pushing the baby down the hall and the woman crying as she was led away.
Last spring, San Diego was among the first cities nationwide where ICE agents began arresting people at their immigration court hearings. Within days, volunteers were showing up to offer help and support. They captured some of the first courthouse arrests on video, showing masked federal agents lining up the courthouse hallway, detaining people as they left the courtrooms. Despite all the rhetoric from the Trump administration, the vast majority of people arrested at immigration court do not have a violent criminal record. They are, in fact, following the law, showing up to their court hearings, honoring their scheduled check-ins with ICE, attending green card interviews. Reverend Paige Blair Hubert is another volunteer.
The general public doesn't realize how sweeping this immigration enforcement has been, and the impact on people has been, particularly folks who would seem like ordinary folks who are doing things by the book.
Meanwhile, she says ICE has taken steps to block volunteers from seeing what is actually happening. Volunteers are no longer allowed to film at the courthouse hallway, which breaks a long-held norm in public buildings. Signs prohibit loitering. Immigration judges bar entry from their courtrooms. The crackdowns coincide with increasingly aggressive rhetoric coming from the White House that portrays volunteers and observers as outside agitators or even domestic terrorists. Blair Hubert says the volunteers feel that tension here in San Diego.
We know who we are. We know we are citizens. We know we are clergy and lay people who are here called by God to be love in this place. And we pray for everyone in this building.
And all of it is taking a toll on volunteers. One of them, Mary, asked KPBS not to share her last name or show her face.
It's very scary for us.
She says some volunteers have stopped coming. They're afraid of being harassed by security or arrested by ICE. If the situation were not so tense, Mary says she would laugh off the thought of her fellow volunteers being labeled domestic terrorists. Most of them are retired women who go to church every Sunday.
The people that are here are amazing that volunteer for this work. We see the injustice and the pain and the suffering, unnecessary suffering that is happening, and we can't sit at home and watch it unfold.
Mary says they are people who feel called on by God to be a witness and help those in need. Gustavo Solis, KPBS News.
I'm Jeff Bennett. Tonight on the NewsHour, how the Trump administration is creating barriers to developing new vaccines. That's at 7 after Evening Edition on KPBS.
Privacy concerns around video surveillance and artificial intelligence. It is a topic getting a lot of attention following a Super Bowl ad for Amazon's Ring doorbell and its search party feature, which uses AI to help find lost dogs. As Michael Yoshida reports, some are sounding the alarm on unwanted surveillance.
The search party feature was rolled out by Ring last fall, and at the time it did receive some criticism, but this new ad has put it and the topic of AI surveillance back in the spotlight.
It's a Super Bowl ad that had some throwing a flag.
I saw it live, and it was one of those, uh-oh moments.
Ring, the Amazon-owned video door company, promoting its search party feature.
One post of a dog's photo in the Ring app starts outdoor cameras looking for a match. Search Party from Ring uses AI to help families find lost dogs.
It should be heartwarming, but a lot of people are reading something very sinister into it.
Ring hasn't been accused of any wrongdoing, but the ad did spark conversations around unwanted surveillance, AI going through and analyzing videos, and how the technology could potentially be used.
There's absolutely...
Why is a Ring competitor even putting out this satire video, highlighting privacy worries and public distrust?
We could find literally anyone, but we only use this technology to find lost dogs.
A lot of this is people speculating about how the technology could be used in the future by a bad actor, rather than necessarily bad behavior that's happening right now.
Ring's founder says the company prioritizes customer privacy, and the application's use is limited.
Right now, the search party feature is literally just built for dogs. So it's built to look for dogs, to tell you if the dog is in front of your house, and then you have the decision to, contact the owner or not.
But experts say concerns over what comes next shouldn't be dismissed.
These technologies are getting so advanced and so sophisticated, we can't just ignore the implications and the risk.
These same things that are treated as privacy risks for some people are actually kind of a feature.
And that's the challenge. Some of us, maybe even many of us, like getting those live feeds on our phone from our cameras, maybe even getting an alert that an animal or something else has walked by. But with that convenience comes the trust that we are putting in others, that we're putting in these companies to do right by us and not abuse that access. That's why those we spoke with say that balancing act of privacy and security is only going to get more challenging into the future. In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida.
For many families with kids, after-school activities and summer camp are unaffordable. For our next installment of Price of San Diego, KPBS reporter Katie Anastas shares how one family manages to keep the costs under control.
Oak Park resident Stephanie Romero has 4 kids, ranging from age 5 to age 12. When her oldest, Isabella, wanted to try ballet, she shopped around.
And really, the affordability and the pricing led me to the rec centers.
Dance classes at City of San Diego rec centers are about half the cost of other youth dance classes. The city has 60 recreation centers. They offer sports, camps, teen centers, and family activities. Those programs are either free or a fraction of the price of many other providers. That includes summer camp, which can cost families hundreds of dollars a week per child.
I know that I've enrolled two of my boys in summer camps at the rec center that were $50 a week.
The rec center's camps come with another perk, field trips.
The field trips that they were going to was something that I don't think I would have the budget for to take my whole entire family. Otherwise, they've gone to the zoo, they've got to the plunge, so I think it's a pretty good deal.
It would cost the Romero family $360 for everyone to go to the San Diego Zoo. To go to the plunge, it cost them $80. Another favorite summer camp provider for the Romeros has been the New Children's Museum downtown. Without the scholarships the museum offers, it wouldn't have been an option for the family.
To send 4 children to camp for 1 week, because I'm working, that would have been $2,000. That's insane. I wouldn't even make that in... Sorry, I don't want to tear down. I wouldn't even make that in like a paycheck,
She's also taken advantage of the San Diego Public Library. The Discover and Go program offers free passes to places like the Museum of Us and Skate World. Finding all these opportunities takes time. For Romero, it's been worth it.
There's so much to do. It's hard to stay on top of everything, but it helps me vary the things that we do. Maybe one day's a rec center event. Maybe the next day we're trying to work through the reading challenge. But maybe we're just taking advantage of the skate world passes, you know?
Their latest discovery, the library offers Rosetta Stone language classes for free. It would have cost $10 a month for a paid subscription. For more stories on how San Diego families are saving money, visit kpbs.org/price of San Diego. Katie Anastas, KPBS News.
The Pacific Coast is facing multiple storm systems bringing heavy rain and potential flooding. Winter weather alerts are in effect across parts of California, Nevada, and Oregon ahead of 2 anticipated systems. Reed Binion reports.
One of the things that we're concerned about with this storm is winds. Winds have been expected with gusts up to 60 miles per hour.
Authorities in Southern California reacting to the first of a series of storms threatening the Pacific Coast this week.
Heavy equipment operators, we've set up a swiftwater rescue team that's ready to respond, aviation resources.
The National Weather Service extended a flash flood warning Monday for parts of LA County amid reports of flash flooding and rock slides, with heavy rain forcing road closures due to mud and debris slides. Of particular concern, the possibility of debris flow on the burn scars from last year's massive wildfires.
This is all new mud, and some of the debris, you could see some of the burnt pieces of wood from the fire.
In Northern California and the Central Coast, the severe weather resulted in flooding and road closures and prompted rescues.
Felton firefighters actually went around and were able to hike and get to those 2 people to make sure that they were okay.
The storm also causing downed trees and power outages. Meanwhile, in the Sierras, there was heavy snow. And while it made roads hazardous, it was also a welcome sight for some, including skiers. The winter storm also pushing into Nevada, with slick conditions snarling traffic on parts of Interstate 80 at the California-Nevada border.
I knew there was going to be snow today, and I should have left yesterday instead of today, but oh well, I'm stuck here now. I can't even drive.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Been some messy weather across Southern California, and the rain, wind, and mountain snow do continue. But if you're looking for a drier note and a brighter note, we'll have warmer weather and drier weather as we head into the weekend. But we always look ahead here. Want to give you an update. Next week does start to bring the return of rising rain chances. So it's a wet night tonight. Temperatures, though, stay rather elevated here, dropping down to the 40s and 50s. But of course, we're talking about temperatures dipping below freezing in Mount Laguna as the snow continues to fall. The wind's been quite powerful as well. We'll continue to have those gusty winds all across the region as we head into tomorrow morning. And then we'll deal with more rain and some mountain snow. Most of that's going to be a bit further north through the day on Wednesday, but we'll still keep those showers around across San Diego County. And temperatures will stay cool into the 60s, even 50s. Borrego Springs at 59. We'll still see the snow falling in Mount Laguna. San Diego, Oceanside, Chula Vista, watching for those showers lingering as we head into the day tomorrow. By Thursday, the pattern lingers here as more rain returns across SoCal, and we'll still be watching areas of the mountain snow, especially into the northern and central part of the Sierra. Well, most of us through the day Thursday won't see more than 2 inches of rain, but as mentioned, we'll be watching another storm ahead for next week. So rain continues on Wednesday, showers Thursday, and then a nice dry stretch Friday through the weekend. So pretty good timing. Temperatures come up with the drier weather and the sunshine as well. Rain further inland tomorrow at 59. Showers linger on Thursday, but drier, warmer weather is set for the weekend. We'll continue to be watching the flurries on Wednesday with another round of snow. Flurries on Wednesday with another round of snow on Thursday. And then even across the mountains, we'll be back to the 50s by Sunday. And desert locations, you can expect the dreary conditions to continue Wednesday and Thursday, but turning much nicer Friday into the weekend. For KPBS News, I'm Ariella Scalise.
Earlier in the show, we remembered civil rights activist Jesse Jackson, who died today at the age of 84. We'd also want to honor legendary actor Robert Duvall, known for his roles in To Kill a Mockingbird and The Godfather. He died on Sunday. Duvall was born in San Diego, and in 2022, he reminisced about his hometown with KPBS arts reporter Beth Accomando. And here is a part of that interview now.
Yeah, San Diego, that's where I was born. Mission Hills, San Diego, California. Born to the Grant Elementary School, but I don't get back that way much. My dad was had gone to the Naval Academy when he was 16, and we were stationed there several times, San Diego. I remember we used to go to the Marine base and watch a movie for a dime. way back before The Godfather or anything.
So 50 years later, what do you feel most proud of about your work in The Godfather and about the film itself?
Godfather 1 and 2 were great films, and I was so glad I could be a part of them. You know, it's just iconic filmmaking, and part of the way to Godfather 1, I said, I know we're onto something very, very special, very special. I've only felt that twice, and I felt it very strongly there. And that turned out to be right, you know, just a feeling. You go with feelings, you know.
What was the other time?
Lonesome Dove. That's the most iconic thing. I'm approached on all over the world, especially Texas. I went into the dressing room at Lonesome Dove. I said, boys, we're making the Godfather of Westerns.
And that was Robert Duvall speaking with Beth Accomando. Duvall continues to be remembered today. Flowers were placed at his Walk of Fame star in Hollywood. The Oscar-winning actor died at his Virginia home Sunday at the age of 95. You can listen to Beth's interview and more of our arts content on our Instagram at KPBS. And here is a look at what we're working on for tomorrow in the KPBS newsroom. The Trump administration is moving forward on building new border wall segments in environmental and culturally sensitive areas. NPR's Morning Edition says activists are pleading with Congress to stop construction. And tax season is here. KPBS Midday Edition is talking with a financial planner about the changes you need to know about before you file. You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org. Thank you for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Have a great evening.
Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 40 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit BillHowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marco Shiley, and by the following. By viewers like you. Thank you.